Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Stu Clark. Beautiful fall day here in Vancouver Island, and we are going to head down to a little creek here and see if we can find some American dippers. It's been such a crazy dry summer and fall. A bunch of rain in the forecast coming up, so I think it'd be a great time to get down here while the water's still low. You can see the creek here behind me, nice big pool. The fall colors are definitely starting to get really vibrant, so I figured it'd be an amazing opportunity to get down, try and get some American dippers, and try and photograph them and video them with the fall reflective colors. It's just stunning time of year to be on the rivers here. So yeah, let's wander up the creek here and see what we can find. I just heard one fly up the creek here, so I'm gonna try and make my way back down to the river and see if we can find them. Rocks can tell a lot here. See, this is very likely barred owl is perching on here on the tree right there, and that's why you're seeing a lot of whitewash on the rocks there, probably feeding on crayfish and the like in the river here. But yeah, whenever you're walking the riverbank, you always want to just really keep an eye out on the rocks. As, that's a good. I've seen owls here in the past. I know there's a barred owl that lives in this area, but yeah, so he's been. This is probably one of his favorite crayfish hunting spots here. Probably likes to roost on the mossy branch right up here. Roosts on that mossy branch right there, and then feeding away. And then on all the rocks around here, you'll see where the dipper whitewash is. And also there's kingfishers in this area as well. So you'll kind of keep an eye out for that too. And it's a great way to find their favorite perch, so you know where to kind of set up if you're shooting out of a blind or just low profile camouflage like I am today. It just gives you a much better idea of where you want to set up shop and hope. behind here. Absolutely stunning day. Shooting nice and low to the ground. Just really hoping to get it on this rock. It's just beautiful. There's ferns and mosses growing on the top of it. So awesome. Got a pair of dippers here. They've kind of been back and forth. I actually think I just saw a Wilson snipe fly in too, which is really cool. Beautiful day though. So what we're doing, we're really trying to take advantage of the reflection. So they've been feeding on the pool up above here. So they've been feeding kind of up on both sides and then on the rocks in front here. So you can see how it got the awesome fall colors reflected in the water there. So trying to get some amazing shots with them reflected in that orange light. So for shutter speed, you've got a couple different options of how you want to handle photographing these birds, because they've got their tail bob. So for that, they're quite active. They're not a bird that sits still for very long, so they're very difficult to get with the slow shutter speed. But so you want to be in that 1/320th, 1/400th is typically going to be fast enough to stop the tail bop. You're going to kind of be able to freeze that. Any sort of in-flight action is very difficult just with how low a light it is in the river valleys they're in. It's rare to get them in a really bright spot. It's kind of a modeled overcast day today, so it's not as bright as it can be. It's getting later in the afternoon, early evening now. So when you're shooting these guys, they said 1/320th, 1/400th, perched on a rock. If you've got a bug or an insect or a fish, that's generally going to be quick enough to get to freeze the action. Sometimes they can be quite dynamic. Shake if they catch a little salmon fry, something like that. You know, salmon eggs. You're going to want to be in that 1/640th, 1/1000th for a lot of that. Just where if they're catching a fish, a lot of times they'll try and smacking it around or shaking it around, and you definitely need to be faster shutter speed for that. So you're going to be really pushing the ISO depending on the situation. But the other option, which is the shot I've been going for today, going for that really slow shutter speed shot. So it's a shot I've actually been trying to get for a while, and it's very difficult. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to have a slow enough shutter speed to get the water, the motion blur of the water, but then also get the bird frozen. It's as many shots as you can, high a frame rate as you can. It's one of those situations where you need to shoot as fast as possible, which is really difficult because you're dealing with really slow shutter speeds. So I've been shooting as low as 1/5 of a second. At ISO, I believe it was 140. And that did a really nice job, but I think most of them weren't sharp, but I think I got one really sharp image out of the bunch. anything you want to be like probably 1/15 would probably be a little bit better, depending on where the water is. Here it's a little bit slower moving, so you'd almost need a longer shutter speed to get the motion blur. Down further where it's a little more of a rapid, a little bit, you can have a little bit quicker shutter speed because the water's moving faster. It'll be blurred a little bit more. So yeah, I think that 1/15 of a second, shoot a ton of shots, rapid frame, fire away, and just hope for the best. It's a game of numbers. The more shots you take, the more likely are that one will be sharp. You're just hoping. They like the term spray and pray. This is absolutely the case where you are, because the bird moves so much quicker than your shutter speed you're using. This would never be a shutter speed you would, ideally go for trying to photograph the bird itself. But in this situation, because we're trying to really take the environmental aspects of the water and really get the motion blur of the water in the shot, this is kind of the perfect way of doing it. Amazing. I'm not sure if they're mayflies or what. There's flies just dropping. They're kind of falling down to the ground and then falling to the river and then bouncing back up. I believe they're mayflies. Really neat. Trying to record some of it. I'll see if I can't get you record some of this. Oh, dipper's coming. The dipper's coming. Okay. One of the big things you want to make sure you're doing with this style of photography is you want to make sure that you are as low as possible. So you can see how I'm pretty much sitting on the creek bed right now. One little bit of dry rocks. That was awesome. He just flew right down. Yeah, look at this valley down here. This is a great example of why I'm always wearing camo. I was coming out to do some landscape photography, and it's you never know. So every time I head out of the house, I'm wearing camouflage, and I'm sure glad I did today. Dippers are, depending on where you are, can be really skittish birds. These ones aren't too bad, but I'm down low in the rocks, kind of keeping a very low profile. So that really helps. You don't want to be, it's not a bird you can chase. They're just going to take off and be gone. It's definitely a bird you got to sit down and just wait. Like I said, there's two of them feeding here. So they've been kind of up and down the river. There's a big pool here. They're kind of feeding on the edges. And then they're also working kind of through the riffle down below here. Super cool. Hear that kingfisher? It's a kingfisher. Kingfishers are harassing him in the tree above. The kingfisher just landed in the maple tree at the back there. Beautiful colors. Quite distant, so we'll see what the zoom can do, just recording. Dipper's coming back now. Oh, oh, geez, this is getting old. Love this style of photography. Other the body doesn't like it. It's just really painful. But taking up a really low profile camouflage, if you had a blind or something like that, can help as well. But just taking that really low profile in a spot like this is just, it's amazing what you'll see. One thing when you go out on a day like today, I'm a wildlife photographer. I try to do landscape stuff, and I'm just never that inspired for it, but it's a beautiful time of year. Uh, but what I can get into, the focus shift shooting on the Nikon Z8, combined with that close focus distance of these mega zooms, it makes it so much fun. You can come out and there's so many mushrooms and fungus out at this time of year. So you can really take advantage of it. It's really nice. You don't have to swap lenses. You can go around with your long lens, set up on some interesting mosses and mushrooms, all this big old growth log here. It's got all kinds of interesting things growing out of it. So we're kind of taking advantage of that and shooting some focus shift shooting shots here. There's a link down below. I did a whole video on how to set that up on the Nikon cameras. Yeah, lots of fun. You can spend a whole afternoon playing with that, that's for sure. I've got this now set up on the I menu. So the I menu, focus shift, and this I'm in my landscape mode here. So let's go up to 105 shots. Let's reset the focus point to back here. Okay, so I do hit the I menu. I'm gonna go to focus shift there. Oh, change that back to 100 shots. Don't need 175 shots, go 105. Hit OK. Up to start, hit start. So this now takes 105 shots, focusing. I've got a difference of 3 between shots at 500 mil, so it'll kind of just work its way down the moss and mushrooms down the side of the log. Super cool. Really neat feature to kind of add some variety to your photos when you're out chasing birds and the like. So one thing to always keep an eye out for when you're looking for dippers, it can be quite evident when you get into the spot where they hunt and feed a lot. You'll see the poop on all the rocks. Just kind of, if you have a good look around, you'll notice lots of poop on the rocks. So it's a great way to tell where they're hunting from. So it kind of their favorite spot, their perches, where they're going to be feeding and cleaning and preening and all that. You'll kind of quickly get an idea of where they're hunting and hanging out, and that's where you're going to want to go and kind of stake out. You want to get nice and low. Right now, what I've done here, I've gone out into the middle of the creek, and I'm trying to get it so that I've got some of the orange reflections here, so that as he comes in, hopefully I'll get some really nice reflections for the background. You know, if I go from the river left here, I'm shooting against the bank on this side, and you can see how much darker it is. You can see it's a little bit of color here, but for most of the part, you're dealing with a darker green. So by getting out in the river body itself, hopefully I can get him. He'll kind of land on some of the rocks up here, and I'll get some of that beautiful reflection in the background. Fingers crossed. He's just flown up into the canyon up top here, so we'll see if it comes back. Right behind me. It's always funny when you're sitting in the river like this, riverbank, anytime you're riverside. A lot of times the rocks will roll in the water a little bit, so you hear kind of this clunk, clunk, it sounds like footsteps. You swear you're going to turn around and there's going to be, I'm going to look over my shoulder here, and there's going to be a bear wandering up the riverside beside me. So awesome. He's just getting back to the car, and he just totally started singing. Right on the other side of the creek. He's just sitting there singing. I was walking back to the car, and all of a sudden, you could hear him singing down the creek. And kind of snuck back in. Look at him just sitting there singing away. See that white eyelid? It's really neat. When they close their eye, they've got a white eyelid. Got two just came in. See, it's chasing it up the waterfall there. Well, Kingfisher saying goodbye. Well, thanks for joining me today, folks. Fantastic day on the river. It's a beautiful fall day here on the island. They take advantage of it before the big rain start, and they're expected this weekend. We're supposed to get, I think, 100 mils over the next week or so. So this quiet river will. This is the end of the season for that. So yeah, a bit of a different video today. Just more of a out wander shoot. I really enjoyed it. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything and really helps me out. Until next time, we'll see you out there. Take care.